Hi, welcome back. It's the Carton Show, and very happy to have in studio with us today former Pittsburgh Steeler, Mr. All-Pro, two-time Pro Bowler back in 16 and 17, Ryan Shazier, who is also a walking miracle, to put it bluntly. Ryan, welcome to the show. Greg Jennings, of course, to your left. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so happy to see you here. You know, I have some familiarity with the injury you went through working with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation here in New York and New Jersey. But if you don't mind sharing some of the story, it was a regular, everyday NFL hit. You put your head down, though. Yeah. And in the video, when I watched it, you know you're in trouble right away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you were moving your hands. And I wonder if you could, I know you've done this, I'm sure, a million times, but for the audience that may have not heard the story, when you laid the hit and went down, walk people through exactly what you felt and what you were thinking in that moment.
So what's so crazy about that whole play is I wasn't even supposed to play that game. I was actually hurt that game. And, you know, when you play football, you're like, man, I can push through it. So it was one of those situations where I feel like I could push through it. And it was a regular drag route. You ran a lot of those before. It was a regular drag route. And the NFL is trying to make things a lot safer. So one of the things I tried to do was actually put my head across. When we trying to put my head across, I actually put it down a little bit and hit him right in his hip. And my legs dropped immediately, and I kind of felt a burning sensation. And I knew something was wrong.
Yeah, you did. You reached to your back with one of your hands, which we could have been, hey, I got a stinger, I have some pain there. What did you feel?
So, like I said, it was like a burning sensation.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was some type of stinger, and I was more naive than anything, more delusional than anything. I thought it was a stinger, and when that happened, I started talking to the doctors. I was asking them everything was going on. They would try to feel on my legs, and I wouldn't be able to feel anything in that moment. And I just kept asking them, hey, how long do you think it's going to take me until I get back? Because I thought it was more of a stinger and not a spinal cord injury. And then I just started to, pray to God, talk to my family, and just start listening to the doctors about what I need to do to keep moving forward.
Was there a point when the doctors ever said to you, get used to the possibility that you never walk again?
So they actually told my family and my friends that. They actually never came to me and said it.
Really?
It was a doctor that told my wife that before. And I know we're not allowed to curse on TV, so I'm not going to. But she cursed that doctor out. So because she was just like, you don't know my husband. She was my fiance at the time.
Right.
And people told us our whole life, hey, you're never going to make the NFL. It's less than a 20% chance. It's less than a 10% chance. Less than a 1% chance.
Sure.
Even making it to Ohio State. And they told her, hey, Ryan has less than a 20% chance of walking. So all I did was put my head down and say, hey, I've had way worse odds. Having alopecia, going to the NFL, and making it to Ohio State. So I just put my head down, and I looked at it more as a ACL or a broken thumb. I looked at the injury like that compared to a spinal cord injury, because I wanted to attack it every single day as if you had a football injury compared to a life-altering injury.
How long after the initial injury, as you start your rehab, we're obviously watching you doing some deadlifts there, how long did it take before you could even be upright on your own power?
So upright on my own power, it probably took me about a month and a half, 2 months, because I can stand up. Well, let me say this. Upright on my own power with
nobody touching
me. I would say it was actually probably like a month or a few weeks before I actually walked for the draft. So a lot of the times when I walked for the draft and I was holding my wife's hand, it would be a lot of rehab that I would do, but I would still be holding somebody's hand. I would hold a cane. I would hold
and you were like, I am not walking out on that stage with a cane.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a big debate with you and your wife, I imagine.
Yeah, right? that was a huge debate. And the thing that's so funny is I actually met Roger Goodell at an event in Pittsburgh probably like 2 months earlier. And I told him, hey, one of my goals was to walk out at the Super Bowl, but the Steelers didn't make the Super Bowl that year. We had a really good year.
And by the way, it's going to be a long time till they get back, so you got plenty of time on that one.
I don't know
you got plenty of time on that one.
We'll get that before
you may
the
have heard Aaron Rodgers is playing for the Jets.
We'll get that before
that knocks you guys back about 9 pegs right there.
I'm not worried. He didn't win many in
So give people, before we get into some football today, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm constantly getting better. I just work out now. I don't do as much rehab as I used to, but I just work out, try to stay in good shape. I notice the older you get, the more weight you gain. So
I can explain that. Look how big this shirt is, and I got a big pocket just for my extra sandwiches for later on. But can you still make improvements in your gait, in your ability to walk, or have you capped out on where you are physically from a standpoint of walking and the recovery?
Yeah, I can definitely continue to make improvements on my gait and my walking because it's more of just the rehab, the workouts I do. So my trainer, I just tell him, hey, I'm trying to work on, strengthening my left side or my right side. And the stronger I get and the more I actually work out, the more consistent I get, I actually see the better I do in workouts, the better I do in, shuffling and karaoke's and all those type of different workouts.
Did you ever go through a period where you were angry? Like where you cursed at the moon and said, why me, any of that kind of thing?
I didn't really have a why me moment because when I was going through the whole thing, I read a book when I was going through it.
It wasn't my book, right?
No, it wasn't your book. I wish it was. But I read
it's not inspirational.
I read a book. One of them was called The Obstacle of the Way, and the other one is Seven Ways of Personal Success. And it was saying stop thinking about why me and why not me. So it's like, why not be the person that makes a difference and why not be the person that makes a change? And I kind of just took that approach with it. So yeah. I didn't really have many days when I was like, why am I not?
So this is going to seem like a silly question maybe. Going through what you went through, are you a different person? Did it change who you are? Did it make you more grateful for things in life? Did it make you more spiritual, change your relationship with God? Any of those things? Or were you the same dude prior to the injury as you are now?
I would say that I definitely changed. I think you can't go through a life-altering situation and don't change. So I definitely feel like I changed. I feel like my relationship with God is definitely, I have my ups and downs, like even when you're healthy,
sure.
You have your ups and downs. But I do feel like it helped me become more humble. It helped me become just understanding of just life outside of the sport of football because I played since I was 5 years old. And with you not playing anymore, it can definitely change things up.
Greg, I want to bring you into this because he made a regular tackle on a guy like you. Mm-hmm. You got tackled 1,000 times. And I wonder when you see the video, and there's no reason to show it. I'm not going to show it right now because we don't need to see it again. But what goes through your mind knowing what happened to Ryan on the same field that you guys competed on?
To be honest, what goes through my mind is like it can be gone just like that. And moments like this allow me to reflect on how fortunate, how grateful I need to be every single moment. Mm-hmm. And so that for me, when I look at you and I listen to you and I hear just your tone, nothing about you seems like he asked about, were you angry? Nothing about you seems like you're in a moment or in a space of, why is it me? I can't handle this. It's like you've taken this and now you've just allowed it to become a part of your journey and your story. My question to you is, when you watch guys playing the game now and you're around a lot of guys, what is your approach to them? What is your message to them about being full of gratitude and taking and seizing every opportunity as if it's your last?
So the biggest thing like you said before, I don't really get angry. The biggest thing, if I do get angry about something, is guys that take it for granted. So a lot of times I try to tell guys, hey, the best thing you got to do is just make sure that you take advantage of this moment because you just never know when this moment is going to be here. I tell people a lot of times, I feel at the time when I got hurt, I was top 3 linebackers in the league. And when you watch sports, the best guys don't normally get hurt. Not as bad as I got hurt. They'll be hurt for a season or something like that, but they just don't, hey, in a drop of a hat, it's gone. And I try to tell them, hey, make sure you take advantage of this moment because you just never know when it's going to be here. You just have to continue to push forward and just be thankful because one thing that I'm really happy about is that I actually gave my all. So when I look back at the game of football, I still love it, and I'm still excited that I was able to play it. I know a lot of times when you take things for granted, you look back at it angry because you wish you could have gave more.
Ryan Shazier is here. Let me do a little football talk with you if I can, all right? Kenny Pickett, legit or not legit?
I think he's legit. I think he's going to do a great job for the Steelers this year. Last year, he finished the season. In his last 9 games, he only threw 2 picks. And it's not a lot of quarterbacks that did that. He finished 6-3. And I think he's going to be able to make that jump that a lot of the great quarterbacks in the AFC, a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL made in their second year. So I think he can really push the Steelers into a nice playoff spot.
They're not making the playoffs. That's crazy talk. I know you're probably on the payroll still. I get it. They get the Roonies get mad at you if you pick against them. But man, you got Joe Burrow you got to worry about. You got Lamar Jackson just got paid. I never said Joe wasn't good. I just said people talk smack about him.
Wait. The fact that you even mentioned Joe Burrow's first.
He's a pretty good quarterback.
First,
he's pretty good.
Actually admitting this. He talks foolish
I have great
about
respect for the city of Pittsburgh, even though it's a bit of a dump, as you know.
Oh wow.
That being said, because they're blue collar people, it's a hard-working city, Pittsburgh, right?
I seen the garbage truck right outside of this building.
Made you feel at home, didn't it? You're like, this I can relate to. Garbage trucks, dirt in the sidewalk. This is like Pittsburgh, right? Ooh, we don't put coleslaw and French fries on our sandwiches because we're not animals, right? We know how to eat properly here in New York. But how do you get past Baltimore and how do you get past Cincinnati? That's a tough division.
So I'm going to be completely honest. I have Pittsburgh third in our division.
Okay.
At the beginning of the season. But the thing is, the one thing that Coach Tomlin has that a lot of these other coaches don't have is he just understands how to win. And,
I love Mike Tomlin.
And last year, he's proven that. He went through 2 different quarterbacks.
Yep.
Kenny Pickett and Mr. Trubisky. Kenny had a rough season, and everybody thought that they're going to have a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah.
And then they worked their way, and the Dolphins ended up winning the game when nobody thought they would, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a better team than the team last year. So that's why I think they're going to possibly be the second or the first best team in the division because Lamar Jackson, he's a phenomenal player, but he has to be healthy. And then with the Bengals, I think this is the year it's going to be boom or bust because once they pay that man Joe Shiesty, man, it's going to, I think.
Pay that man his money. Listen, we have a rule on this show. You lie to children, you don't lie to men. Mm-hmm. All right? It's just a rule we have on the show. Ben Roethlisberger, total prima donna, right?
Nah.
Total prima donna, not one of the guys, not a fan, right?
No, I'm a big fan of Ben.
Not a guy you talk to this day. Has not stayed in touch.
I was just on this podcast.
He's using you for the podcast. We know this. He probably didn't pay you for it.
He doesn't have sponsors on his podcast.
He doesn't have sponsors.
No.
Did he send you a gift?
No, he didn't send me a gift.
Did he write you a personal note? Thanks for coming on like I'm going to do or no?
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
And he made me...
Let's go.
And he made me
what?
Cuban sliders on his show. You gonna do that for me?
Yeah.
No.
Where are the Cuban sliders?
I do have I have a Rubik's Cube though, if you want.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
So he's a good dude?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
You guys got along?
Yeah, we got along. We got along.
I think you might be lying.
No, we got along, man.
I think there's a little part of you might be like, yeah, he's a prima donna. Like all fair about Carton. You
know who's a prima donna?
Who's that?
The third best quarterback in the AFC East.
Third best quarterback.
No, third best team in the AFC East.
2 is a prima donna?
No, the Jets are the third best team in the AFC East.
Now you're just trying to pick a fight with me.
I'm just, hey.
Come on.
Are they better than the Bills?
Yes.
In what capacity?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, so Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson, top 5 defense. Maybe you've heard of Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
I know you like Sauce.
Yeah, I love
You're
Sauce.
A defensive player, right?
Yeah, I do.
Listen, why don't you like the Jets? Why do you hate the Jets?
I don't
The Jets haven't won a damn thing since 1969.
I don't
Why
hate the
pick
Jets.
on the little kid there on the playground?
No, the thing is about the Jets is that this is a New York thing.
You don't like New York?
No, I love New York. But once you guys get something good, y'all just blow it all the way up. Like you just think.
That is a fact.
You just think, hey,
that is a fact.
It's the greatest gift on earth. And Aaron Rodgers, phenomenal.
Yeah.
But you just don't win a game with one person. And I think he's awesome. I think Aaron Rodgers, if he comes in and does what Aaron Rodgers does, you guys can make it to the playoffs. You're gonna
make
do
it
well.
to the playoffs.
He doesn't even like Aaron Rodgers.
I don't. I wanted Derek Carr, but now that I got him, And I made the point. I view my athletes that I adore the same way I view presidents and airline pilots. I may not like you, but I'm rooting for you.
Wow.
That's how I view it.
You don't like your airline pilots?
I don't know the guy, but I hope he does a good job. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.